Hi, I'm back. This here is the brand new... Yeah, let's maybe remove all of those glass panels. It will just be reflective of the light. Ah, better. So I'm back with a brand new case and this... That wasn't me. And this is the Xilence Xilent Gleam, or they just call it like their aquarium case, and it's definitely an interesting take. We already did a couple of builds in it. We have both the white and the black version, and for today's video I wanted to use the black one. It's definitely a new stepping stone for Xilence. Usually their cases were like very budget friendly, and they were good at it, like budget friendly but still like a good quality and all of that kind of stuff. But this is definitely going into the higher end class, into the higher end tier list of cases. We got glass in the front, glass on the side, which I now of course removed, but it's definitely way above their usual pay grades. And included we actually got 4 different fans. All of them are 140s. We got 3 reverse spinning ones here on the side, or as like intake on the side, and we got 1 regular one in the back as exhaust. Now not everything is perfect about this case, and I will talk a lot about it in the review. Believe me, there is a lot to say. But I guess let's get to building in it. I have prepared a bunch of components. We got an ASRock Phantom Gaming X670E because I wanted to use our 7950 X2D. Yeah, 7950 X2D last time before it then definitely goes into its new like benchmarking station. And because it's Xilence, I have all of these red extension cables because they used to have everything in red. All their fans were red and everything, and I wanted to give like a last tribute to that. What else do we have? Of course, we got a big ass RTX 4080 because it fits, and that's the point. And we got that not so new, but I think it's like the highest end product, this Xilence LQ240 Pro. It's an AIO, a 240 AIO, who would have thought? But instead of using the regular fans, I wanted to exchange them for these Xilence XF173 XPF120.ARGB. Xilence really needs to work on their naming scheme, which I stole from some other AIO because everything in here has the same design of fans with RGB, and I thought let's just add more RGB to that. And I guess let's put together the base. And as I'm putting this here together, I just realized that for you, my entry line of "Hey, I'm back" doesn't really make a lot of sense because this will not be the first video that is going to be released after my like week-long hiatus of being operated for a few days on my jaw. So yeah, that was kind of stupid. Yeah, something about the thread isn't working right, but I should be able to force it through. Okay, now it's working. Ta-da! Base assembled. So there are a few things that I really wanted to say about this case. First off, this is definitely something very different than Xilence is used to. This is not their usual spec, and they are definitely, how should I say this politically correct? They need to learn a bunch of stuff. I will give you a few examples. The best I can think of is tolerances. Let's begin with a very easy to spot fact. And this will not stop. What this is in the bottom, the rubber on the feet isn't identically high on all 4 feet. All the feet are not identically high. I'm not sure which one of the 2 it is, but the case pivots. And it also does so when it's like completely filled with high-end hardware. It just pivots all the time. And that's like a no-go to me, especially when you're trying to get into the how should I say, upper class range of cases. You do not want that. And don't get me wrong, for me that's not a deal breaker, but I can definitely see things that Xilence or the manufacturing process behind this case isn't up to the standard where they are trying to go into. I do understand that to a certain degree. I mean, somebody like, for example, Be Quiet, which is like a side company, owned by the same company who owns Xilence. It's like a complicated structure over there, but they know their stuff, and when they come out with a case, no matter how new it is, the tolerances will be impeccable. Here, however, it's like their first attempt of getting a high-class case done, and I can definitely see that this is their first high-end case. You can definitely see that. And the feet are not the only thing. I will try to show you the next issue. Okay, I screwed in now 1 motherboard screw. So the motherboard is attached using a single screw, and I need to hold it so that it doesn't fall out. And now I will show you something. You see this hole and this hole? They are now aligned, right? Okay. And now let's move the camera down. Yeah, this one isn't really aligned anymore, and this one just definitely isn't. Like, it's moved to the left. If I relocate the motherboard a bit, you can see the whole spacer. However, if I move it into this direction, the top ones won't be straight anymore. It's and that's essentially where we are with this case. Nothing is like really aligned. Everything does fit. I can force the screws, especially for the motherboard. As long as I don't screw in one screw like to its end and then have it like tight, I can still play around with, like, let's say the difference between the actual hole and the thread of the screw. I can pivot it a bit and I will somehow make all of the screws fit, but that shouldn't happen. All of the mounting holes for all of the spacers of the case should be like precise, and they just are not. And that pretty much sums this case up. It's a great first attempt, sure. And by the way, I love that whole pop mechanic everywhere. This is so easily removable. However, there are so many like baby issues that are still in here, and I don't know if you can see it, but my whole moving around the motherboard to somehow make all of the screws fit will result in this here not being totally straight, or I don't even know what is being moved here. But you can see that my audio plugs here are not aligned with the holes anymore, and that is because I'm putting pressure on one side, and it's an issue. It's just a big issue that Xilence needs to work on, and then they will get an email from me regarding all of these issues, and I believe they can still fix it. Like, production is still going on, so I guess if they apply some changes, they can get rid of all of the issues that I have with this case before, or maybe not before, but there will be like one batch out with all of these issues, but maybe the second batch will be more optimized for what the case is supposed to be. What should I do now? Oh yeah, maybe cables before we install anything further. Yeah, let's just wire this here up, otherwise I will never get the cable installed once the AIO is in there. Okay, let's get the AIO going. Baby issue number 3, I believe I have with the case, is this GPU anti-sag bracket. It is great that you have it, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a good addition. The problem is that you can't move it to the left or right. You can move it top bottom, that's not an issue, but not left or right. And if you have worked with enough of the GPUs, you should know that most of them, or the fixed position of it will, with some GPUs, block the fan. It will just rest on the fan will not spin, and that's a huge issue. That renders the thing basically unusable. And usually higher end cases will just somehow adapt a style of... Oh no, I mounted them the wrong way. I wanted to have tubes right. Oh, god damn it. And most higher end cases, if they include some type of GPU holder, they will have something in place so that you can spin it in 360, or like, let's say 300 degrees left and right, so that you can to some degree at least avoid the issue. One good thing that Xilence did is include 3 different sizes of GPU anti-sag bracket, so that you can to some degree just touch like the outer border, but still there are GPUs where there will be no outer border where you don't touch the fan at the same time. So yeah, great addition, but not always as useful as they maybe have hoped. Now we got it. Okay, and now with the AIO in, let's get to baby issue number 4 at this point. Xilence includes this little ARGB and fan controller in it, and the problem is it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I got 2 of these cases, so I was able to test it on multiple scenarios, multiple motherboards, external control, and the problem is these fans here are 3-pin voltage controlled, and this controller is a PWM splitter essentially. And usually how that works is something will at some point translate the PWM signal over to 3-pin voltage control, but it just doesn't. It doesn't. No matter if I use the white or the black case, it just freaking doesn't. I tested it with a multitude of other like regular 4-pin PWM fans, and there it worked flawlessly, but not with those motherfuckers. These here will just spin at like 800 RPM fix and nothing will change, no matter what you do. If I connect them directly to the motherboard, it will work, but if I connect them through that controller and then to the motherboard, no matter the setting, no matter what I I do, nothing will change. They will just spin at 800. And oh, that was so annoying, especially the back fan, because it has a bit of a grinding noise if it spins too quick, basically 800 RPM, and it's annoying as hell, and you can do nothing against it. It will just grind all day long, and that's just so freaking annoying. I will write an extensive email to Xilence about that issue. Something about the controller needs to be updated. Now for this build here, I will still try. I will, as like a last ditch attempt, I will try to connect it to the motherboard, and hopefully, because I don't think we have used this motherboard particularly, maybe something will change. Maybe like the two other motherboards that I have used, they had some issue. Maybe, but oh my god. That thing was so annoying. Oh yeah, and before I forget it, it's not only the PWM signal or the translation to voltage control that doesn't function properly. Because another thing that happens, as soon as you try to somehow get away from the ARGB control side of things and pass it over to motherboard, it will do all kinds of weird stuff. Even if you use it just as the controller and you let it do its thing, after like 10 minutes it will do all kinds of weird glitches, and the lights will flicker, and that thing is just broken. And it's not only this black case, the white one, just as bad. Exactly the same thing happens. And I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but Xilence definitely needs to update something here. I would say let's install the PSU now. Oh yeah, this is another one of those cases where you absolutely are required to use this stupid bracket. You can't slide the power supply in from the side, which is just, I hate that. Why would you do that? And now comes the stupidest move ever. Ta-da! That could have been half as long. Whew. So before we finish this, I wanted to change something about the case, because you can take the whole PCIe panel and spin it in 360 so that you can install your GPU vertically, which is really cool and allows me to do two things. A, show off the GPU, because that's just necessary nowadays, and B, hide the fact that I don't have the red cable extensions for the 16-pin voltage, yeah, the NVIDIA Octopus. Because I don't have that, I can use this fact, and this doesn't work the way I thought it would. No. Yeah, definitely not. Manual. No, this is the correct way of doing it. But in what world will I get that? Okay, I can squeeze it, yeah. Another instance of great tolerances. You need to squeeze it behind the motherboard in a way that doesn't feel particularly comfortable to me. Yeah, the only issue that I don't know the answer to, this is basically the only PCIe riser that I have left, and I need to figure out if it actually fits in here, or if it will touch the bottom too much and just be unusable. Oh, let's just hope the best here. Yeah, no, let's move the whole thing one further up. Please fit, please fit, please fit. Because I have other risers, but I just don't know where they are. Oh yeah, I forgot. Hey, come out. You are required to remove the GPU anti-sag bracket, because otherwise it will hit the card. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that. I discovered this yesterday, and it's actually quite cool. What you can do with this PCIe riser is take one of those two here, remove it completely, and just turn it around. And if you do that, you basically create a little GPU sandwich. And I know, until now it sounds kind of stupid, but what you can do... Does it even fit in here? No, not yet. Okay, so we remove one additional screw so that we can push this further back, and this one here. Now this should fit. Yes, it does fit. And what we can do now, and this is kind of cool, we can reinstall it in the bottom, and in that case the GPU anti-sag bracket would actually just prevent the GPU from moving towards the glass or towards the front. However, if we continue to use these two over there, what we can do is create a little GPU sandwich, which will... Oh my god, this will be like really hard to screw in. Oh, okay, it's in. And by doing so, we will prevent the GPU from moving either to the front or to the back, and it will keep the whole thing just in place. That's the one very good thing about the case, which was actually thought through to a higher degree. No, the PCIe riser doesn't fit. Oh. Okay, let me continue looking for the other one. Okay, I found another one, which for a change is actually PCIe 4 4.0. However, it is full of, this one just came out of what was the case called? The Nuvolo stack, the water cooling build that we did. And yeah, I needed to drain the loop, so the whole thing here is full of that black gunk, and it's just dirty all everywhere. And I just realized that this doesn't... Oh no, this could work. But I just wanted to clean it like a lot. Okay, better. Let's try this again, and I know that I need to bend these here a bit too much, but I don't really have another way now. Oh, this won't work either. Damn it, I need to find the other PCA riser. Oh, I got it in. And no, I'm not comfortable sharing on camera how I got it in. A lot of force was involved there. But at least now nobody can see, or it's not as obvious anymore, that I'm missing that one cable here in the same color pattern as the other extension. So at least we got that going. But damn, that was hard. That was really hard, and I needed to push the GPU a bit to the front to have it working to some degree. But hey, it's in, it's working. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Now, before we finish up this build, I wanted to use a feature that for some reason Xilence just completely forgot about, and it's about the area here. Something that's really cool about this, in the documentation and in the spec sheets of this whole thing here, Xilence is only talking about the fact that you can use SSDs or hard drives, or the holes for them, to have like the rubber rings in it and then screw hard drives and SSDs on there. But actually, these here are 120mm holes and these here are 140mm holes. And the fact that the whole like breathable area is a lot bigger than 120 or 140mm, or the 120, 140mm form factor, paired with the fact that from the bottom we only got this one very nicely looking and nice feeling mesh dust filter, we can use that as one of the best bottom intakes I have seen so far, because there is literally nothing underneath, and that will be perfect. And for this, I wanted to take something special out of the old things shelf. This 160mm Silverstone fan, which does use the 140mm form factor, or the screw hole pattern. And if you remember this was like 2 years ago, this is a hell of a case fan. This pushes so much air because it is so much bigger than a regular 140mm fan. And I really wanted to use this to have some additional air being pushed in from the bottom, partially through the GPU if you look at it, because the part of the heatsink is still overlapping on the fan. But thanks to these here, which are reverse spinning fans and pushing air in, everything will be cycled to some degree to the back. This will just be great. But I need to screw it in from the bottom, so let's just quickly do that without breaking something. Whew, I think the PC is done. Can maybe move these a bit up here, but yeah, seems we are done. Yeah, let's just close the top here. Now let's just see if this thing boots. So this was a wild run. The CPU is running fine. The 7950X HDD is boosting to what it is supposed to boost all core and is sitting at 84 degrees C above ambient, with all of the fan settings just set to stock. I didn't change anything. So it's 5 degrees below thermal throttle, so we are fine there. And on the GPU we are sitting at 71 whilst pulling 340 watts through the card. So the system is running just fine. However, the issue with the ARGB and fan controller persists. The fans are running at 800 RPM all the freaking time. And if I change anything about that, the only fan that is reacting to my change is the one in the bottom. The Silverstone 160mm fan. Which, by the way, pulls in a ridiculous amount amount of air. So that one is running fine. And this was pretty much it for this build. I mean, as a case, I really like it. However, Xilence definitely needs to improve on this effect. The ARGB controller needs to be fixed ASAP, and whoever is producing or whoever is doing like the metal work needs to have his tolerances improved. It's not possible that I need to squeeze and push everything just to get a screw in. That's just not a good sign. Somebody needs to improve something there. But as a whole, I do like the case. Improvements need to be made, and I will have the review. I will film it later tonight, and there I will try to somehow formulate everything into understandable sentences. But something needs to improve. Many things need to improve before I give this case my recommendation. But okay, for today, I would like to thank you for joining my wild ride, where I forgot half the stuff I needed and I broke half the things. But yeah, it was wild. Yeah, hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.